I can deal with
I
this.
took it off. I didn't know if you want.
Okay. All right, we're live. Hello. And now let's go ahead and start Audacity in three, two, one. Oh, we're live.
Oh, it's official.
Oh, baby. All right. Welcome back, boys and girls. This is 8-bit Bourbon, episode 47. We have a special guest today. I'll let you introduce him.
It's a good friend of the program. You've seen him before on the E3. He's been on the gangbang. This is DK from the Evil Council podcast.
Hello, everybody. Hey, guys. How you doing?
Welcome. You know what I noticed? I have this weird thing where I say like words. I don't know if it's wrong or just I don't know. But whenever when I say council, I say console.
Yeah,
Console?
you say console
It's
time.
it's fucking annoying. It's like saying like swimming pool.
Yeah.
Like I say pool. I don't say like pool. Like it just I don't know. It's obviously right, but it just sounds wrong.
By the way, this is really cool with the camera setup and stuff. We're gonna start doing this every week, so
Every week until it gets annoying.
every week until next week if we don't want to do it anymore. But I was telling DK, if you guys could see how we have this camera set up right now, there's duct tape, there's a couch cushion. It's absolutely amazing.
No, you mean we got a cameraman?
I can't even get out of the room because of the wire. We got to get a more permanent set. We got this podcast room. We got that over there.
Yeah, we don't really have that good of options for anything.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it from the ceiling. We just got to get it to stay straight. But anyway, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. We wanted to do mainly. We have some great reader mail. We got Yvonne and
You know what?
the one from 6 months ago
When
that
we
we never
saw
saw.
Yvonne's message, remember when he wrote his email about how to pronounce his name? I forgot how to pronounce his name. Ivan? Like
I have no
Ivan
idea.
the Destroyer or something, or Ivan Drago?
You know what? What does he want from us?
I don't know.
We don't get paid for this.
What is it though?
Except by makers and Red Bull. And
What is it?
I think it's Yvonne, but I'm
Yvonne?
not sure. When I say I think, I mean I'm 10% sure. Sorry, Yvonne. Ivan.
Ivan. I don't know.
All right, so go ahead. You want to talk about hatred?
Oh no, not yet.
Not yet. All
No,
right,
let's say
screw it.
hatred. That's
Oh, so DK, tell us about your awesome week that you've had.
yeah.
Oh, awesome week. Let's see. My car exploded, and I got no.
Like
Yeah.
legitimately exploded?
Yeah, it was awesome. I was on the way to work, and I think it threw a piston, but it got me to work one last time. So
See,
forward.
That just goes to show, listeners, even with prestigious podcast hosts, even they have bad days.
I know, right?
Yeah. It's not just a life of luxury.
That's right.
Well, not always. That being said, I am drinking a bourbon and eggnog smoothie that Adam made with the blender.
It's a special. That's my drink. We didn't go the
It is
milkshake
amazing.
style. We went with no
I
ice.
drink like 100 of those.
I don't use my obviously you can tell I don't use my NutriBullet for anything. Like,
Right.
ever.
It's only decreasing your health somehow. You're the only person with a NutriBullet that's actually hurting your health.
Yeah, I just mix eggnog and bourbon in it. Like I started off when I got it, I thought it was awesome. I was making like orange carrot juice because I love orange carrot juice. I've done that for a while, and then I just
I go through like spells of doing like juicing, and I always feel better when I do it. But like I'll go buy like $20 of fruit, and then when the fruit starts going bad, I just throw it out, and then I don't get it.
Yeah.
But every time I do it, I'm like, I wish I would do that all the time. It's just a pain in the ass.
I just
I don't know what I'm doing too when I get fruit. Like I see like my parents, they're like checking. I don't know what I'm looking for. Like I know I don't want a huge dent in it, but other than that, I have no idea.
Yeah, I just have like this weird thing where I can't eat like fruits. Some certain fruits that give me like headaches. So I can only eat like a couple fruits. So like I don't know. I just get tired of it, and I'm lazy. It's really hard to make. Like
It's tough.
it is, and
We
following
just had
directions is
instant
hard.
microwave pizza for dinner. So
You should have seen the first 3 batches of orange carrot juice I made. They're fucking terrible. The first one I didn't put water in it because I didn't know you're supposed to put water in the NutriBullet to like mix stuff up.
yeah, yes
There's-
you are.
And it clearly says there's a fill line right on it. I
Yep.
didn't do it. I was like, this thing is like as
You're,
thick
like,
as
chewing on it.
Yeah, it was like if I took like a really hard cooked steak, mixed it with gravy, and then put like a whole potato in there. I tried to
You're
drink.
getting me excited. That sounds amazing.
That sounds delicious.
Wasn't it? But it was
Yeah,
bad.
I just had a work event Friday in Massachusetts, just like 3.5 hours away from here, and I just had like woke up at 7, went to breakfast, did the thing. In the afternoon, I had to make a 15-minute speech in front of 80 people.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
So
so I had the anxiety of that. I was the last speaker, so kind of. Then the guy who hosts it took us out. Then I got immediately in my car with the same clothes, drove 3.5 hours home. Didn't stop once, not even for like a rest stop, and got to my house 5 minutes later. Adam picked me up, and here we are. You know, it's dedication. That's what we call it.
Did you play any video games this week?
This week,
I saw Ben got up to 22 on Destiny.
Yep. I haven't even talked to him about that. I think he just knew I wasn't home.
Have you guys tried the raid yet?
No, you got to be like at least 20. Well, I think it's a 20. There's 2 raids, 26 and 28 maybe, but 2 levels of it. But I'm 20. You have to be at least like if you're not within 2 levels of a strike, it's really hard. Of a raid, it would be impossible. So we probably have to be 26, 25 at least. I'm 25, but you know he's gonna get there. Yeah, I'm enjoying Destiny, but I talked about Towerfall Ascension, how that was really fun to play. I got The Room for Android, which is really fun. Puzzle game. It's like a puzzle game where like you're stuck in a room, and there's just like a desk with like a million different hidden compartments and puzzles and stuff. It's awesome. The Room 1's good. The Room 2's better. I thought they were awesome, but they're hard. Like they're very challenging. What else did I play? Right, that's pretty much it.
How about you, DK? You playing anything?
Oh Jesus! I've been trying to play things. I've pretty much spent my week doing. I've been trying to get back to Shadow of Mordor, which I haven't finished yet. Which I'm way behind because you finished that like.
Yeah, I think
last week or before last.
No, I finished the week it came out.
Jesus. Yeah.
It's not like I did like a speed run. I put like 45 hours in that game.
So bad. It's sad that the game also was a room for Android, but what are you gonna do? Magic's coming out for Android tablet, which I know you already know, but that's exciting.
Yeah. It's in Hearthstone, right? Magic. Yeah.
No, Magic. Yeah. I'm sorry. Hearthstone's coming out for Android, and then what's it coming out for?
Oh, are you kidding me?
2015.
Yeah.
Oh, the consoles, right?
Even better, it's coming out for your mobile too. You play it on the phone. Yeah.
That's the one they delayed because it's not quite ready yet. Yeah, they don't like it with like the screens yet, but
I'd probably actually be able to play Hearthstone then if it actually came out because I've been trying to get back to it. I haven't been able to play this season or whatever like at all this month.
Yeah, I haven't played it at all. I really enjoyed it. I don't know. I felt you know what it is. I have it on my computer. If I had it on my tablet, I would play a lot more. Sitting down at the computer to play a card game is tough for me. Although I did play 20 hours of it. So.
When I was on vacation in June, I played a shitload of it. It was so much fun, like sit on the balcony, have a drink, and like look at the beach and play. But I really haven't played it since then.
It's a great game.
It is. It's just like I like iPad games, but when I start playing one, like I just like kind of like space out and like 2 hours go by. So
I love Hearthstone because I can pick it up and play it for 15 minutes, 20 minutes or something like that, and then I can go do something else. And it's actually because I got in. Yeah. And the great thing about it is like it's probably the first trading card game I'm actually any good at just because I got in so early. Like Magic the Gathering, I love to play, but I wasn't gonna get on that money ramp. So Hearthstone is just that perfect.
Right. I was in the beta too, so I felt like I kind of learned early. Although I probably suck now because I haven't played in so long.
Andy and I went down the money hole with the Magic.
Oh yeah.
We were spending like $50 a week.
It was worth every dime.
Yeah,
it wasn't like we were like, oh, we're tricked into this. Like we just did it because it was fun. We enjoyed opening the packs, and we didn't need any more cards.
It gets really addictive opening those packs. Even Hearthstone.
We would open them in the car on the way home.
Yeah.
I would open like one, and Adam would open all of them. So then we just started opening all of them. Adam could not wait to get home.
No, I admit I went ahead and paid that $50 in Hearthstone, but and I'm not shit talking Magic because I love Magic, I really do. But I paid that $50 and I made 4 decks off of it, and they were all competitive, and they continue to be competitive. So like, it's hard to beat that when like if I wanted to play standard Magic right now, I have to spend probably a lot more.
To be fair though, number one, Magic's a much bigger game, obviously. So.
Oh yeah, by far.
But number two, you're digital versus physical. Like you could buy a lot more cards for the Magic digital game. Not that anyone probably would.
Yeah.
I wish that they would make like a Hearthstone-esque quality game that's Magic Online, because they have Magic like the Android tablet, iPad game, but that's like for beginners. But what is it called? Duel of the Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
But then they also have a real Magic thing, but it's like a glorified Excel spreadsheet. I mean, it's so cool. And I understand why, because it's infinitely more complex than Hearthstone, and you can't, like, putting every rule in would take a long time. But it's something that they should do. Well, they are doing it. I just wish it was a better quality,
client
software, because
it looks like yeah.
It's terrible. And if they did that over time and featured like the high def art, which is one of the best parts of the game, and sort decks and stuff, that would kill.
We almost made that leap. If my old computer If I could have got Windows on that, me and you probably would have went to.
I would have loved to do that because the cards are cheaper, which
Yeah.
they should be because you don't actually own them. And we could have played like, whenever I leave, we could still play. We'd have all of our decks.
Well, despite all that, I've known people that have played it so much and actually spent money on Magic Online that, like, I'm not going to say who, but someone close to me recently sold all their Magic Online stuff for like, how did they do it? It was a few $100s for that stuff. And then they sold their real Magic cards for like $600.
We should look into that because we have a lot of Magic cards.
We do.
I have an entertainment center where my record player is in my living room, and
we took out our old decks the other day. It's actually pretty fun.
There's 9 drawers, and every single one of them has binders of Magic cards in, except for one that has 64.
I know. As soon as we finish doing our binders, we never played again.
Yeah. Doing the binders was a lot of fun because I'm not a person who likes like organized shit.
Yeah, it was fun though.
You can obviously tell by the placement on the walls because everything's everywhere. I just don't care.
This is Adam, yeah.
But
is this the best birthday gift anyone's ever given you?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Aim lower. There you go.
Oh, I'm glad to finally see the Bob Barker picture I've been hearing so much about.
It's up there.
Yeah.
And you know what? We did
amazing
tweet it out once because when I
we did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second time.
Yeah, we were like 50% sure we did.
It's our boy Bob. When he dies, we'll just put it'll still be our mural.
A little shrine there with candles.
It's so amazing that you have that. All right, should we talk about some stuff? I don't know, video games.
Yeah. Well, the last thing I want to say is I finished Arrow season 2 and it's fucking awesome. You should watch it.
Really?
I love
so
shows
good.
on the CW.
If you like DC Comics and like not like the obvious DC Comics like Batman, Superman, like the other stuff like Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey, just like deeper stuff, it's so good.
I'm totally not bashing it. I think that if you enjoy it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm just checking our Twitter. I'm not checking text or anything.
Mm.
But it's just I know I wouldn't like it. I don't want to watch it because I don't want to hate it and then talk about how I hate it on the show.
There's some points where it's like really hard to watch because like
cringeworthy stuff.
It can be so good, and then like the main actor, he's really good at some points, and sometimes
yeah.
The story was so good. It was awesome.
So didn't you say like the first season was kind of butt? Would it be worth it just to start the second season?
I would say watch the first. The first like 7 episodes weren't that great, but then it picked up and it was really good.
We got some good tweet response from Tyler Johnson, so we'll get to that as we get into our discussion.
Tyler's Hawaii, right?
I believe so, yeah.
So he wants to play
Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Right. We're gonna have to figure out the time zone because it's like 12 hours, right?
Nah, I don't know.
I'm just being sarcastic.
I was gonna say
it's gotta be like 8.
I don't even know if it was 3 to.
It's like a 16-hour flight from here.
Yeah, but it's more south.
So minus the wind.
Our
and
geography's doing really well
sun.
here. I want to say it's like. What do you think Hawaii's time zone is? I was gonna say it was like 3 hours, maybe a little
extra
bit more.
west. What time zone is it?
It's super west.
Hawaii.
I have no idea. Let's find out. Let's find out. You guys keep talking.
Well, I was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like I'm actually kind of mad at podcasts in general right now because that's pretty much the only thing I've had a chance to do. Like being at work lately, I've like figured out a way to surreptitiously listen to them. So I've been listening to you guys, the Anime News Network one, greatest movie ever, Fast Karate for the Gentleman, and so all this stuff has just been my acquisitions of old media has actually gone up, and you guys have gotten me excited about the new Halo collection and wanting to get an Xbox.
You need to get an Xbox One for that. We'll have to bring you on when we do our year later episodes because you have a PS4, right?
By the way, I had the camera locked and I just fixed it, so Derek's actually showing up.
I was gonna say something, but I don't know how to fix it.
I knew. I was because we were testing.
Because I made the mistake one time we did a gangbang. I clicked on myself and then it wouldn't switch after that, and I did.
Oh, if you're the host, that doesn't matter if you're not the host, but if you're the host for the on air, it screws it up. So anyway, what the hell was I gonna say? Our end of year and our year anniversary are going to be like 2 shows in a row.
That's pretty insane. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah,
it's pretty You're an inspiration for the rest of us.
No one's ever told me
when did you guys you guys split off into seasons, right?
Well, I mean, for us it was more like we just wanted the show was so different after Eric and John left that we kind of just wanted to separate it off. It was such a different thing. So I don't know. We were talking about doing kind of season stuff. It was more like a refresh, which was super early. I think we got like 30 episodes in when we did that. But
by the way, Derek's having a fine bourbon tonight. What are you drinking?
Oh yes, it's Maker's Mark.
Oh yeah,
that a boy.
Represent.
Brought to you by Maker's Mark.
We'll have our agent get a hold of Makers and we'll Send you.
Oh yeah, I love it. Our only
We'll
sponsor right now is Dollar Tree, actually.
Hey,
Dollar Tree's big, baby.
it's already got to start. Now he's on his own toy store.
Exactly. Starting from the bottom.
All right. Before we get into our topics, I want to know what Insider P and iPad Mini 3 is.
Not telling you. Let's get into our topics.
We're
gonna do it.
Okay, we'll start with video. Well, I want to do since it's like Halloween. This show will come out a couple days.
Do scary games. Okay.
I just want to know what have you guys ever played like a scary game? Do you guys like scary games?
I'll let you go ahead, Derek.
Well, I mean, by and large, it's not something I go for. Like I heard a lot about God, what's the name? Well, Outlast was one, and then what was the other one? A Machine for Pigs was the subtitle of the second one.
I've never heard of that.
Shit, I can't remember, but I've heard a lot about them. I typically don't go in for them. Probably my favorite ever would be Fear, like the first Fear. I fucking love that game.
Never played that, but I heard a lot of good
I never
things
played
about
either. You know what? Everybody seems to like them, but I never thought they looked good to me. But I was also in like my dickhead like Call of Duty mode where I didn't play anything but Call of Duty for years.
What a douche.
Yeah.
Well, as far as FPSs go, it's probably not the best one ever. I just thought it was doing something like interesting when it came out.
Yeah.
And the thing about, I'm not a big. I like horror movies usually for the riffing of them. The only horror movies as a kid that ever freaked me out were like zombie movies, and then now it's like total catharsis. I love zombie stuff. The things that scared me more were like Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park, but I'd have nightmares about dinosaurs. Mm-hmm. So like the whole horror genre for me is like usually, I don't know. I don't want to say I have disdain for it, but it doesn't do a lot for me. But Fear was one of the few games that actually sort of like gripped me. They had all of it was kind of like a Grudge style, you know what I'm saying? Like a creepy little ghost girl who would like blood out of the walls and tear people apart. And I love the FPS of that. I wasn't like well initiated in FPS at that point. I played it when I got my first gaming PC. And I wasn't familiar with that whole. I was used to playing consoles on a big TV in the living room, and so I was in my room, my screen, I'm right up on it, I'm in the dark, and I'm totally immersed. And then some fucked up happens, and it's. I don't know if it holds up. I actually have all the Fear games now, and I haven't played 2 or 3. But at the time, like it was super fun being able to like drop kick people off of walls. The AI was actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. And then the scares were actually pretty scary. It was one of those things where you would be playing like a normal, like pretty generic kind of FPS game, just gunning down people, and then it would just flip the script, and you're stuck in a hallway, and this ghost girl, you can't kill her, and she's knocking you around, and it was fun.
Yeah. My answer is pretty easy. First of all, I hate those games.
What games?
Like horror survival games. Not because they suck. I just don't like them. They scare the shit out of me. They make me anxious. I play video games to relax or compete, but I don't need more anxiety in my life. I loved the original Resident Evil because it was half puzzle, half whatever. But
when I was a kid, that scared the shit out of me.
Scared the shit out of me, yeah.
The dog scene in the
dogs through the window.
Oh my god.
Was that Resident Evil 2?
I don't remember, but it was scary as a motherfucker. But what I was going to say, for example, there's the new Silent Hill demo, right, for PS4. It's supposed to be like people play it like all the time. I haven't even downloaded it because I have no interest. Chad just bought The Evil Within. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. No interest. The new Alien Isolation game looks awesome. No interest. It doesn't do it for me. And that doesn't mean that they're great. Like I could see the best. If you guys haven't seen this on Games, I hate GameSpot, but they have a great video of people playing the Oculus Rift in Alien Isolation.
Oh god.
Like, you can't look away because even if you like look up, you're just looking at the ceiling, and then the thing jumps on you, eats your face. They say it like it freaks you out because like it's that immersion of being in the scene, and like you can't, like if you're in your living room, you just look away from the screen if you want, Yeah. But there's a video of it, and there's one guy keeps, and they are serious. Like these people are terrified. One guy keeps screaming, "I'm feeling vulnerable." And then my favorite guy though, he has just complete terror on his face.
Why would you say something like that?
I don't know.
It's the last thing I ever said.
I know. It sounds like something I'd probably say, but joking, not serious. But the one guy has complete terror on his face, and he goes, "Bitch, bitch, bitch, bitch." That's my favorite guy. Dude, that video is something else. If you guys haven't seen it, I would definitely check it out. But that being said, Yeah, I don't know. I like Resident Evil.
Yeah.
I avoid those games kind of at all costs. I mean, BioShock's a little bit like that in some scenes, that horror survival stuff.
The first BioShock was kind of creepy.
Yeah, I'm okay with in small doses like BioShock. It's really, you even call it a horror survival game to an extent. It's a lot more complicated than that, but it has like a lot of those elements where they're always keeping you on your toes. Something's always jumping out. But that's the thing. I don't like cheap thrills, like things jumping out at me.
Yeah.
I like to wear headphones. Like I don't need something screaming in my ear. You know.
Did you play The Last of Us?
I haven't. As embarrassing as that is.
No, it's well. First of all, you need to get learned and go get that game. Second of all, like I wouldn't call that game like a horror game. It's really like it's more story based. But there are some times where you're like in a flooded basement and these fucking fungus assholes would pop out of the water and shit. That was actually pretty scary. And I'm glad you mentioned Resident Evil because I didn't get my first PlayStation until like way late, like almost right before the PS2 came out. But my stepdad had one that I couldn't play, and I was conditioned to be completely afraid whenever that little PlayStation thing happened because he would be playing fucking Resident Evil, and I wouldn't even want to hear the sounds from it because I was so scared of that game when I was a kid.
Resident Evil, what I loved is that it was smart. It was it's like classic horror movies that are like the new ones are all just cheap thrills, and the Resident Evil, like, they didn't have things jumping out at you at every corner. There were things that jumped out at you occasionally, but they saved them for big moments. It was more just being like Silence of the Lambs or.
Well, it's also about being vulnerable, right?
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
That game, like
you fear
look
more
what they
than
did
things
with
are
Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil 4 was
an
scary,
action game.
but then you realize that you can shoot people,
Right.
and in first couple Resident Evils, the tank controls
You can't
made the
save.
game. Like there'd be time there would only be like 2 people on the same screen,
Right.
and you'd have like a knife, and you would have
Right.
to like figure a way out.
There's no ammo.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to get ammo. I love the fact that you couldn't
There's
save. That
the
would never
typewriter
roll these
ink was a
days.
fucking pain in the ass.
Yeah, right. You couldn't even save unless you found
the ink.
or whatever.
Well, that's dread plus anxiety for that,
Yeah,
like
right.
like
I
real
never want to play it.
visceral feelings. Well, I'm hearing the same things about like Evil Within, like that it does a lot of that scarcity and stuff and making you feel vulnerable because a lot of games these days are all about the power fantasy and it takes a lot of that away. And it does it when it like you're not just a tank anymore.
Relationships.
Yeah, it has a lot of less tank controls, just more. I think it's better designed from what I've heard. I'm actually interested in playing it, and I'm like you, Andy. I don't go for horror games too much.
Yeah, our producer loves it. He's got it. I told him he was asking if you should get that or Alien Isolation. I was like, I don't really know. They both sound really good in different ways. I was like, just don't bring them to my house.
I was gonna say that, I don't like stealth games. I don't and I just don't care for scary games.
I like stealth games.
Like that's why I think I never played the Last of Us. 'Cause every time I watch a video, it'd be like somebody like sneaking around.
Splinter Cell is some of my favorite games ever.
But
I
I
love
like
stealth games.
Like Splinter Cell when you could just kill people.
Yeah, but not Splinter Cell 1 and 2.
Yeah.
You could, but it
But
made the level a lot harder.
I like the Metal Gear Solid games. You have to sneak around a lot there.
Yeah.
I just don't have the patience for it. But I think my favorite scary game ever was probably Dead Space. That original Dead Space was so good.
Yeah, I never played Dead Space. It always looked very
It had a lot
cool,
of cheap thrill or like cheap scares, but like it was just so good the way they would scare you because they came at events and stuff. They would kill you so quickly.
It was like being an alien or aliens in movies like that. I played the demo a few times. It freaked me out too much to buy it.
Yeah, that game took a lot out of me to finish.
I just thought of one. Half-Life 2. It's not a horror survival game, but there are parts of it. So Half-Life 2 basically has every part of every great genre ever because it's that great of a game. But it has a few parts where you're totally one of my favorite experiences ever. I was playing in college. By the way, if I see there's a couple viewers, I don't know if it's Tyler, but hit us on Twitter, or Facebook, or whatever, because somebody forgot to turn on the Q&A.
Yeah. If you guys want to give us your favorite scary games.
Yeah, hit us.
At 8bit
I know
Bourbon on Twitter.
at 8bit Bourbon on Twitter, or 8bitbourbon@gmail.com if that's easy. What was I saying? Half-Life 2, one of my favorite gaming experiences ever. Where I was sitting at school, I had just got my new Alienware, ridiculously overpriced PC. Adam, I love how you try to sneak out. Everyone can see you. Oh yeah. And so I hook up Half-Life 2. It was amazing. I was so pumped about it. And you're like getting herded like I'm gonna probably slaughter this. I haven't played it in forever, but you're like getting herded like cattle through like a checkpoint by whatever they're called, the Helga, no, that's Killzone, whatever, the bad guys,
Mm-hmm.
and you eventually escape. I don't even remember, but there's a part where they're chasing you, and you're chased like across a street, up some stairs, across a rooftop. You jump a rooftop, you go in a window, and the best part is, and this is all designed, but it plays like it's totally like just your experience. You go down you jump in the window, you go down the hallway, and I think you actually have to go downstairs as soon as you get in the house, you have to go downstairs. So you go right, and you see the bad guys running from the other direction. So you're like, oh shit! So you turn around, you open the door that's on the other side, so it's like a T hallway. You open the door on this side, more bad guys are coming, so you go back up the roof, and as soon as you take like the third step going back up to the roof, the stair breaks and you fall on your face, and we all went, oh shit! Like, we were like, it's hard to explain, but it was so intense, it was so unbelievable, and like I just did that. I never played the game. I know what I was supposed to do, but they play you because you think that you're escaping, you run across rooftops, but it feels like just your route that you're taking, but they totally made you do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the only thing that you could do.
Well, it sounds like they were setting you up for that typical video gamey thing where you're totally expecting you just got to run long enough to get to the end of it, and then they're like, they break that expectation.
Back out the window, and then you fall on your face, and they grab you, and you're just like, I don't know. It was awesome.
Well, the head crabs in that game are actually fairly freaky. Like, if it wasn't for the other parts of the game, the head crabs, like, I faintly remember. It's been a long time since I played Half-Life 2, but I remember like this part where you're out in like this random gross place, like moving through an area to another, and I think it's one of the first times you start to see the head crabs, where one of the bodies just stands up and starts making that disgusting noise, and just that the sound design on that was good enough for I felt sick and freaked out.
Yeah, the game is unbelievable. It really is. The way that they script linear stuff is just very cool, and again, like that's not even a great example, because like you're saying, there are parts in Half-Life 1 as well where you actually feel like you're aliens, you know, like that's basically, you know, that's kind of part of the story. So, like monsters, I guess, whatever you want to call it.
And Half-Life 1, you were so isolated too, like you were just.
Right. Half-Life 1 like Alien the movie, and Half-Life 2 is more like Aliens. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But I guess the assumption, or I don't know, what we come down to is we don't mind horror games, just don't seek them out. Is that our opinion?
And it's totally, I want to emphasize, it's not that I think they're bad.
Yeah,
it gives me anxiety, and that's not what I look for when I play video games. I can recognize that they're awesome, but I don't want to play.
That's the way Dead Space was. It was just so much anxiety. Like, I just like, and it was so good you couldn't stop playing. You wanted to keep going. It's just like there was just times where I was like, I don't know if I can keep playing this game.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta get headphones for Evil Within. I was like, Jesus, that sounds terrible.
Yeah. That's the thing.
That
I like.
Said, here's some.
That's why Dead Space 2 might be like one of my top 5 games of all time. They took down the horror just a little bit and made it like a little more actiony, and it was so good. It was just a perfect blend, I thought. A lot of people, the people that love the horror games, felt like betrayed, but whatever.
And for me, it's just like we were saying before, like Last of Us there's so much more to it than just that. I feel like if it can even be a horror game, but as long as it's not, the gameplay's got to be there. I'm not going to just play it just to get the scares.
Like, I enjoyed the horror type parts to it, but would I have if that was the whole game? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
All right. Well, let's get us into.
All right. Did you guys get a chance to watch the Hatred trailer?
Yeah, I saw some of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's like, I think it's like a Polish developer, and if you guys don't know, if the listeners out here don't know what it's a game about a guy who just
puts 3 people ass to mouth and calls them a centipede.
And then he takes them and turns them into a walrus.
Yeah.
I saw the wrong trailer, I guess.
No, but it's just about like this guy who just wants to go kill everybody. He won't stop until he dies.
And you're playing his view?
Yeah, you ever play like the fuck's the name of that game? It was a PS3 game. It was a zombie. You were like shooting. It's like it looks almost like a twin stick shooter at one point, like an overtop view.
Like the isometric sort of.
Yeah.
For which console?
It's I think it's PC, but it almost looks like a Gauntlet kind of style.
Right.
But the way he shoots is like a twin stick shooter. It's kind of like the way I want to describe the best that view. I don't know if what Derek just said is the right way, but like the way like Halo Spartan Assault is.
Yeah.
It's like that camera angle.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
But like you can get up close to people and you have like these quote unquote graphic kills, and a lot of people were like, I was actually happy the story didn't like keep going.
You want me to read Tyler's comments and then you can respond to them?
Yeah, but
I think that'll be a good jumping off point because I don't know as
but
much
anyways,
about it as you
I was
guys.
gonna say,
Oh yeah, go ahead.
people were saying this game is like, why are they putting this game
right,
out?
right.
It's like, it's really violent, it's awful. But then it kind of like
People were offended.
Yeah, the people were offended, but we'll get into it.
All right, let me read what Tyler says. He says, "I've never had a problem." This is Tyler Johnson at tjohnson808 on Twitter. He was he our original Sloppy
Yeah,
Box
he was
winner?
the one where.
Yeah, we're like we don't want to ship anywhere but the USA, and then someone from Hawaii went. It was like twice as expensive to ship.
Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was like $11.
It was like 50% more expensive.
Yeah,
maybe.
but everything
No,
else.
I think it was more than that. I think it was like $18.
Okay, was it?
Anyway, good for you, Tyler. We weren't gonna starve for anybody. I've never had a problem with violent games. I love GTA, Gears, etc. But after watching the trailer for Hatred the first time ever, I actually am surprised at myself for thinking this might be a little much. But not necessarily because of the violence, but the story that goes with it. I mean, if anything is going to bring back that shitty video games discussion, this is it. I mean, come on, why not just change the story behind the violence to almost anything else? I don't know. Like I said, I've never been one. Sorry, I just got a message from a minute. Screwed up. I've never been one to say a game is too violent. However, I just don't think I can get on board with this one. A little much for me, I guess. I mean, what's next? A John Wayne Gacy game where you torture little boys?
Please.
Or play as an ISIS commander beheading American journalists. Maybe I'm being extreme, but that's just my opinion. He says, I'm 6 hours behind the East Coast. I looked that up before. I forgot to say I gave you fingers.
I followed on my computer as well.
And he said you play as an active shooter.
Okay.
So, I don't know. Okay, so my response to Tyler is...
You're wrong. No, I'm just kidding.
I kind of agree.
I think he makes some good points.
Yeah, I think that the reason that people are offended is not the violence. Because there's violence in a ton of games. There's like funny games where you like cutting off people's heads. It's the message behind them. In GTA, it's clearly a caricature of the world. Like you're beating up a hooker with a baseball bat, but it's funny because of the culture that they give it.
That's cool.
It's very deliberately removed, right?
Exactly. It's removed. It's deliberately removed. You know what I'm saying? Like you can watch Family Guy and see something horrible happen and laugh because you don't take it seriously like a live action film where like. It's not the graphics that I'm necessarily getting at with Hatred, even though they are pretty realistic. It's that
I thought they looked like shit.
Well, I mean, compared to Grand Theft Auto.
Like when he shot that person in the head, I was like,
yeah.
Well, I thought Grand Theft Auto was more like gruesome than that. Because was Grand Theft Auto 5 the one where you could run up when you got up close up to people? They had that almost like the same kind of animation as Hatred did.
Like you can drop up and like do a takedown or something.
Yeah, or you put a shotgun to their head and it shoots them point blank.
Yeah.
It does like little quick
GTA
animation.
Gore is fake as shit though.
Yeah, that's what the hatred thing reminded me very much of it.
But I think the point is though, it's like the violence in Grand Theft Auto is a tangent off of the plot that's like hilarious because it's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Where the violence, and I think this is kind of what Tyler's getting at in Hatred, is the point of the game, right? Like there's no, it's not like a funny subplot or like it's like the entire, like you're playing a guy who wants to kill a bunch of people. And now I want to preface this by saying I don't think that they should ban this game.
No.
I don't think that they should, censor this game. I just don't want to play this game. I think that's kind of discussion. I think you should be able to make whatever the hell you want. It's America, but it kind of disgusts me a little bit.
Yeah, I don't dismiss it like offhand or whatever. Like I don't want to make a huge judgment just based on the content. Like game wise, like Adam said, it looks kind of shitty as far as graphics and stuff. But
that's
like
the key. If it sucks, it sucks. But...
It does some things. There's a lot here. Like the creators themselves, I think I read some editorials on it, and they were talking about the creators themselves weren't even like, no, we're not trying to say anything artistic or like shine a light on anything. We just we thought it would be funny, and I think that's a little irresponsible, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it's not funny. I don't know why it would be funny. Like if you made it funny, it would be funny.
Yeah, they're just like, we're just doing it because it's something different, and obviously they're getting publicity for it. But it does shine a big light on this kind of veneer. Game violence gets brought up in the media a lot, and it's usually as gamers, I think we're conditioned to not have a lot of excuse for the violence we perpetrate on these NPCs. In I don't know, Uncharted is a good example, where you were mowing down 50 guys and you're essentially in an adventure movie. like Indiana Jones.
He's the greatest mass murderer of all time.
Yeah, yeah. Even in Tomb Raider, which is supposed to be about a college girl like learning to survive, by the end of the game, you're killing 100 people every level. And most games you have, if there's a gun in it, then you're killing someone. The big difference between those games and this game is those people have a little label on their foreheads that says "bad guy."
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it is a good point too, and it's like it's where you are, psychologically where you're playing, and it's a huge difference in that way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's almost like an NPC that doesn't matter. Did you just type something to me?
The Tyler.
Oh, okay. This is a live show, folks. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, ultimately, like just that fact is enough. Like, it made me sick watching it. Like, hearing these people like scream and beg for their lives is way different for some like.
See, you guys think
Tyler
that?
just emphasized.
You guys think that because
I don't think anything should be banned. Which Tyler agrees. Like, he's not trying to say it should be banned. He's just not.
I play like devil's advocate. In GTA, people scream and beg for their lives all the time.
Yeah, but to me, it's like it's cartoonish.
Really?
Absolutely. To me, it's totally different.
What majority of the time when you're not in a mission of GTA, what are you doing? You're driving your car around, shooting people.
Totally.
Whoops, I bumped that guy.
But the way that they set it up within the game world, it doesn't take itself seriously. So the whole violence thing to me is a joke in that.
It's not the main conceit.
Yeah.
But it's the main appeal, the playing appeal after the game is over. That's why people go back into play GTA.
No.
I think the openness is what the appeal of GTA.
Yeah.
Well,
there's a difference. No, but
there's only so much driving. What people want to do is they want to get stars.
Right.
And have
but
crazy
here's the thing. Here's the
chases,
thing.
so
There's a difference between shooting rockets at cop cars and blowing things up as decapitating people repeatedly. It's different. It's totally different. Now, if you're in GTA, you're just using a baseball bat and you're just beating up hookers, you might have a problem. But you know what I'm saying, though. In GTA, what are you doing when you get 5 stars? It's like any action game. You're driving around, you're shooting rockets. The only difference is it's innocent people instead of bad guys. But it's not like you're like doing. Like, I don't take that seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like in Halo, when I shoot someone in the head, I don't think of like I'm snipering someone in the head.
But you think people that would play this game would take it seriously, or would they just take it as a joke? Like, people look for that relief.
I don't see how you could take it. I mean, it's not whether you take it as a joke or not. It's that you're playing a murder simulation.
And you don't think GTA is a murder simulation?
No, not even close.
I don't think it's intended. I think it's a criminal simulation.
But you're playing characters that aren't good people.
But that's not the point, though. Like, just like I think Halo's or Call of Duty, whatever, is a perfect example. You don't think of it as a war simulation.
Yeah,
you think of it as a competitive game.
Well, I think first-person shooters aren't in the same category.
Why not?
Because there's always good. Going in, there's a good guy, a bad guy.
All right, well,
when you go play GTA,
how
you start off as a bad guy.
Just like
you are a bad guy. There's no way around it. You're a criminal.
In which one?
In GTA, you're a criminal.
Yeah, well, it's complicated though, you know.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. I think it is complicated.
Well, to me, Gears of War isn't like, I don't know. Like, the people don't have a story behind them in GTA. They're just random, repeated NPCs on the street.
Yeah, but I don't think the people in Hatred have a story behind them.
Well, I don't know.
What? I mean, I'm personally.
I can't explain it specifically, but there's a humongous difference between blowing up random cars in a third-person environment and walking up into a home and decapitating someone in a game that the whole point of it is a murder simulation. I think it's totally
what I saw in
different.
Hatred, guy running down the street shooting people. I in GTA have ran down a street, unloading a machine gun, killing everybody I've seen, hopping into a car, taking that person up, running the person over in a car, and then driving around doing drive-bys until I got 5 stars, shooting multiple police officers.
It's so, to me though, it's so like, from what I saw the Fear trailer, it's very like personal and one-on-one when you're doing things. Or what did I say?
Fear.
Hatred. Yeah, you have a fear of me. Yeah, from what I saw in Hatred, it's just like very personal, like up and close killing and stuff like that.
But
like
I was saying, GTA, there is really that they have that.
Yeah, but it's still like
you can run right up and put a shotgun in somebody's back.
But it's still ridiculous. Like,
well, it's like
you get in the car and the '80s music's playing.
I'm with you guys, but I want to try to get everybody's
GTA is not a murder simulation. It's just something that you do. There's a huge story that has nothing. Yeah, eventually you kill people and stuff.
If Hatred had missions that this guy did
unrelated, I think it would be totally different. Okay. Absolutely.
No,
it would be totally different.
Before we'll get in deep, my thing is, if you think video games are art, I think video games are art. I think anything you create and anything that can be created with a lot of talent
has that potential.
Yeah, but I think Hatred, I would never play. It's not something I wouldn't. I think it's distasteful. I think there's a fine line between distasteful and then there's violent games. But you can't if you regulate one art style, then what's stopping you?
Well, no one's regulating.
No,
it.
but if people were like, this can't be done.
Yeah.
What's next?
I don't think that's most people's message. I think they're just saying it's offensive and they won't play. I don't think they're saying.
I know, but once everybody starts calling something offensive, like
if a certain politician gets a hold of this game, they're really it's gonna be a thing.
Right. Well, that's one argument. But as far as people saying it's distasteful, that's gonna happen.
Well, yeah, you don't have a right to not be offended.
Like these games, like they don't bother me. If you want to play them, you can play them.
No, I don't care. I don't think it's gonna do that. But at the same time, I mean, it might not sell because nobody cares.
And the best thing is about these games, usually people just get the shock value. They usually suck. They're not very good games. That's why I think this game stopped getting talked about, because people, I imagine the news outlets, they realize like, if this game's only a story because we make it a story. Like if we bitch about it, then people are gonna know more about this game. Well, the best way to battle this game with our disapproval is to never talk about it.
Right. Which is,
have you guys heard of a game called?
Podcast off of this?
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. But I think it's an important topic. Like what's too far, and I don't know.
Have you guys heard of a game? Sorry. Have you guys heard of a game called Spec Ops: The Line?
Yes.
Have you guys played it?
I don't know much about it, but I have read articles and stuff.
Yeah, you're probably familiar with like the fact that like it does like I played Call of Duty games in the past where like I was in the AC-300 or whatever, AC-130, excuse me. And I got the little camera and I'm shooting people on the ground, right? And I've heard a lot about this. It was talked about, like I was listening to podcasts from 2012 recently actually where they talked about it right after it come out. And then it has, after you do that section in Spec Ops, you go down and then you go through the battlefield where you went through, like where you just been in the plane destroying people essentially, shooting rockets and machine guns and stuff, and you see all the dead bodies laying around and all that stuff. I think if you were to do that and make a commentary on the violence in video games and how that's handled, Spec Ops probably is the one that did it right. And I don't think I don't know, violence for violence sake. I don't know.
Well, you guys remember Modern Warfare 2? The opening scene of that game is you're like a American agent with the Russian whatever the people are, and you go through a airport and you just shoot 50 to 100 civilians. That's all you do. I mean, you have the option not to pull the trigger.
Right. Yeah. That was like one of the first controversial moments in like not first, but
that
one
game
of the more
sold,
recent ones.
That game sold millions, and everybody, there was an outrage about it, but people got over it. Like, do people really care about this? That's what I want to know.
I think again though that was an opening mission where this is like the whole point of the game.
Like
I think that's key though. Like I agree, and it did get a lot of press though. Yeah. It did. And I think with Hatred and like GTA though, like without having to go into details of explanation, do you really think that the murder simulation game's anything like GTA's caricature of hilarity? I think it's.
I'm just saying.
No, I'm asking.
I'm saying violence for violence. I don't see a difference.
Well,
well, why? You like GTA, you won't play.
What about a rape simulator?
I don't have a problem with what happens in.
Right, that's what I'm saying. But you won't play.
I wouldn't play a game where I just knowingly am the bad guy. Like the whole goal.
But that's what I'm saying. You like GTA and you don't like Hatred, so you must see the difference in the violence. That's what I'm saying.
No, I don't see the difference in violence.
So why do you like one and not?
Because I don't want to play a game that's just about going and killing innocent people.
That's why it's different.
No,
that's exactly what we're saying. Is that because one is it's for violence sake. It's the whole point of the game. The other one, it's a sideshow.
I don't see how you see a difference in the violence.
It's not that I see a difference in the violence. I mean,
I don't think there's a difference in the violence. I think there's a difference in the perspective on the violence.
Right.
Like
what one is a caricature, one is
an intimate thing.
I don't understand what makes GTA a caricature.
But dude, you're saying that you like one and not the other. It's like the same
I'm just
argument.
saying I don't want to play a game where the character, the main guy he doesn't look fun to play. Like, I don't want to play a game. At least GTA makes their characters interesting. I don't think the GTA main characters are any better than the character that's in Hatred. What makes them better than that person? They all have the same mission.
It's not that they're better. It's not that they're...
But that's the thing. Like, the story in GTA is better. The game is better. That's why I play GTA games.
See, that's not it for me. It's that like, the violence in GTA it's ridiculous. It's not supposed to be realistic.
But so is this game. This guy, he can't go around and kill 200 people and kill 50 cops. Like, that doesn't happen.
Well, I don't know. I haven't seen that much. All I know is that the
it
kills
looks like a twin
that...
stick shooter. It's like if the people in this game had their arms straight out, it would look like he was walking around shooting zombies.
Yeah, the only things that I saw were like much more intimate kills than that.
Well, I think that's it, but those intimate kills are rip-offs of GTA 5.
So maybe I don't understand enough about it, but that wasn't the feeling that I got from what I saw.
Well, I think
the opening monologue just set the tone, and that's where people like. If you saw that game without the opening monologue, I don't think people would have batted an eye.
Adam, do you like Indiana Jones?
I hated Crystal Skull.
Did you like everyone's Last Crusade, Temple of Doom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who doesn't?
Do you like Saw 6?
I've only seen one Saw movie, and it wasn't after 3 or 2.
I don't know.
I don't really like horror movies.
Well, basically, what I'm getting at is like in Indiana Jones, Indy kills a bunch of people. Like he kills, he kills them. That is super violent and gross in normal society. I would never want to do it, right? But in Saw, like it's torture porn, essentially, like the most creative ways you could possibly kill a person, right? And I love watching Indiana Jones movies, and I still recognize that violence is there. And at one point, like he shoves a guy's head in a propeller.
Well, violence is everywhere.
I think it's part of our culture.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see the difference between.
Right. I think what Derek's saying though is that like because it's Indiana Jones and because it's a ridiculous caricature of real life that you don't take it as seriously.
I think you're also giving. I think you're giving quality a pass over. Like
no, it's a matter of.
I don't know if what's
like
it
if
called
GTA
good,
if GTA.
See, I'm not even a humongous GTA fan.
We can use other games, but if say you have a really.
But do you understand the point he's making?
No, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm on your side.
Indiana Jones, you don't notice the you don't know, like you're not offended by the violence.
But there's a reason why.
It's not putting that violence up.
Really,
like
it's a ridiculous movie.
It's not putting that violence up as the main point, as a pedestal, as like this is the main point. This is why we're doing it.
If he was an asshole, unlikable character, would you feel the same way about the way he killed people?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But that's the whole point that we're making. Is with the video game.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like GTA gets a pass because people like their games, enjoy the characters.
It's not but it's not just that. It's the whole story isn't dependent on I'm going to just strangle people.
I know that. I'm just saying
that's the whole point that we're making.
I know, and my point is the majority of people that play, just like you and me, like we've been there when we played GTA 3 and 4. All we did, we would sit around in your living room. And there'd be 4 of us, and we would just go around and see how many stars we got. And all we would do is just murder people, butcher people, run people over with cars, kill police officers, do all the stuff that's in hatred. Why does hatred
because it's not because
that wasn't the point.
Like, talking about
the stars were the point, right?
Right. It was almost like it could have been a puzzle game. Like you're trying to get to the max stars, and it was hilarious that the way that you were doing it was.
Those people might as well have been like little blue squares.
Right. Exactly. They might as well have been circles in Diddy Kong Racing where you're flying through.
That's what I'm saying. They all don't matter. Like what makes the 50 to 100 people that you shoot in
because
culture of the game. I can't explain it any better.
That's why I said I wouldn't play the game.
In hatred, they're taking those blue squares and they're putting like your grandmother's face on them.
But I'm just saying, people in GTA they beg and they cry.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous.
If you ever play
like, if you punch someone in the face, they'll say a joke half the time. It's not nearly the same.
If you ever play the first Kane and Lynch, they have some like really graphic and gruesome shit. You can shoot people in like the legs or stomach, and they lay there and they beg for their death. And I have no idea. You can just like walk up and shoot them. It's pretty bad. Like
GTA is not that serious though. They might scream and be, but the next thing they'll say is like a joke about like what the fuck.
Yeah,
I had your money. Like it's not a realistic scenario.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying I don't think hatred's realistic.
And that's not to apologize for violence either, really.
No, it isn't. No, I think it's good, healthy talk. Because people have their opinions. I'm sure there's people out there that listen to the show be like, you shouldn't be able to do that shit at all. We're all saying, yes, go for it. We're not going to play it. If you want to do it, do it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's going to be people. I don't know. There's like, yeah.
Well, I almost think some of why like it's not getting as much like in the American like video game media, like it's not getting as much because as far as violence for Americans, violence isn't a big thing for us at all.
Yeah,
like I saw a Reddit post earlier that showed the machete kills, I think it was, TV cut, and the TV cut like took out all the nipples and boobs.
Yeah.
But when a guy like
Oh, yeah,
when Machete grabs the guy's intestines and like falls out a window, no one gives a shit. You know what I mean?
America loves violence. And that's another thing. Like, okay, if you took out the violence in GTA, would people want to play it? Violence sells.
GTA 5, yeah. GTA 5, absolutely. Because
Yes,
that game's about
absolutely.
heists. That game's about being like crazy dudes doing.
You can't rob a bank without a gun.
You wouldn't have to kill people, like, tie them up. I mean,
You're not Batman or the Green Arrow. You're gonna have to shoot people.
I don't know who the Green Arrow is.
Yeah. Like the way I am, I'm so.
Are we really 49 minutes into this?
Good.
Holy shit!
I like it. It's good.
It's good discussion.
It doesn't happen like there's like a real topic though. Like we can talk because we're older. When we were younger, we were like, "Fuck yeah, let's go fucking." We would put that sniper code in GTA. When you shoot them, their head would like pop and then just get like the fountain straight up. It was great. It was fun. And I'm so desensitized to violence, and I don't know if it's my attitude or that stuff doesn't bother me. Like I understand why it can offend people, and I understand why people say that violent games can influence people to do violent things. I don't think it does. I think it's the person. I think it's always going to be the person, their makeup, their chemistry, whatever. It's not going to be a video game. It never will. I'll never blame video games for that stuff. I can understand why people try to make the connection. I don't think it is. I grew up on violent video games. When I first started playing my first violent video games, my parents sat me down. They said, Adam, just don't do this stuff. You can play it, just behave. Stuff like that. I mean, that wasn't the exact same talk, but my dad I remember being like 8 years old, maybe younger, when the RoboCop came out. Our parents, we grew up in different times. Our parents probably had 2 kids by the time I was 30. I was probably like 6 years old by the time my mom was 30. So I was watching like RoboCop, Terminator, all these crazy movies with my dad.
RoboCop was super brutal.
Yeah, all these RoboCop was ridiculous, and Terminator, like I don't know, I just grew up with that, and I just learned to live with it, never act out on it, and I don't know, I don't.
Well, my main point, I think for me, it kind of summed up in this, like, games are often about like living out a fantasy, right? And for me, a lot of my fantasies involve, having my own spaceship, or robbing a bank in a really cool way, or what have you, living in a fantasy setting, killing a bunch of orcs. The fact that someone's fantasy is to do this to people unsettles me. Like that's someone wants to play that game, and someone wants to be doing that kind of thing, and that's what unsettles me.
That Postal game has 3 or 4 sequels. There is an audience out there that plays those games.
Yeah, and that's GTA is more. It's moving pixels around for me. It's not so intimate as that.
Yeah,
GTA is more like Tony Hawk to me. It's like combos,
just to be fair, so I don't get like hated on. I love GTA.
Oh yeah.
I love playing them. I don't think anything bad of them. I was just trying to be.
I just don't think GTA.
Oh yeah.
Are similar at all.
I just think the violence is similar.
Yeah, see, to me, it's not.
Well, I think
they're both violent. That's what the similarity is to me.
What would be like? Take hatred out of the equation. What's the like most violent video games you can play? Not like you can't say like Call of Duty, like when you're fighting like a
Gears of War,
enemy.
Mortal Kombat.
Saw people in half. Mortal Kombat's a
GTA's
good one.
got to be up there.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I would say Red Dead Redemption's up there.
What was that game recently where you tortured someone? You didn't. Oh, that was GTA. Fuck.
But when you think of violent games, you think like GTA. I'm sure that's
right, but we're not saying it's not violent. We're saying
that's
the
what I'm saying.
point of it is completely different. That's my point of that. GTA is the most ridiculous in a lot of ways. I mean, it was one of the most sexual games first. It was one of those violent games. It's supposed to be. Yeah. It's supposed to take everything. But to me, it's not. Like to me, when I'm like shooting someone on the street, it's like there's nothing even remotely close to me actually walking up to someone and pulling a shotgun. Yeah. I think it's almost more realistic in shooting a zombie in Resident Evil is more realistic.
That's the thing. Like
it's made to be.
I've killed thousands in GTA. The first time I shot.
But again, like that's almost like me saying I've killed thousands of Goombas in Super Mario. Like that's how violent it is to me. I take it totally as a joke. Like it means nothing to me. Like it's never. I've never thought of it as like. I've never pictured it as shooting someone.
Well, I was gonna say like the first time I ever shot like an innocent person in Kano Lynch, and the way they acted and the way they like moved around, and, like they suffered, that kind of like set me back. That's one thing about GTA. Usually, if you get like you shoot them, they lay there.
Ragdoll.
They disappear.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to be realistic. We're like.
Yeah, but.
Games I just gonna talk about. whatever. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games where, I mean, even like Metal Gear Solid is more realistic because when you kill someone, you have to pick up their body and hide it in a locker. That's a lot more real, you know.
Well, when I was a kid, like we had a bunch of replica katanas, right? And we went outside, and we filled bottles of water full, and we stabbed you. But we would go out.
Killed the bomb on the corner.
But well, I mean, just like you said, I mean, we'd go out and we'd like cut milk cartons and stuff like that with them because we thought it was cool to use the swords, but we weren't. There's a big difference between that and going out and killing a bum with that sword, you know?
Yeah, a rib cage as you did it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we got some fan mail. Or listener mail? I'm sorry, I hate the term fan mail. Should we get to that quick?
Yeah, let's finish up with that.
All right.
But that was a good talk. I like that.
Oh yeah.
And
you guys, long emails here.
Let us know what you guys. Tyler did a great job letting us know. Write into us. Let us know what you guys think about violent video games. Do they bother you? Do you play them? I'm sure everybody plays them.
I'm going to have to read Yvonne's email and the other one really fast. So, Yvonne or Ivan Gonzalez, we don't know. He corrected us at some point.
I fucked it up bad.
He says, since the release of the next-gen consoles, I purchased a PS4 on day one and an Xbox One with a Titanfall bundle drop. My friends that don't have either ask me all the time, what do you think is better? I tell them if you would have asked me 5 months ago, I would have said PS4 without hesitation. The graphics look amazing, the menu is simple to understand, the controller feels great. 5 months ago, I felt the Xbox One was a waste of money, and I wish I had put more money into a desktop instead of where am I here? Instead of buying an Xbox One. Currently, my views have changed. If you were to ask me today, I would probably say Xbox One is better for me. First, the reason is it supports an external hard drive. I have a 1 terabyte hard drive with a lot of downloaded movies and shows. And to be able to plug in the Xbox One and access all of it is amazing. The PS3 supported at least a flash drive, but to find out the PS4 didn't support it was kind of disturbing, which is very true. The Xbox One voice command feature is super glitchy and it's flawed, I can't lie, but when it does work, you get spoiled real quick with its features to the point. Reaching over for a foot or two to your armrest to grab the controller seems like so much work, which I totally agree with. If you're a sports fan like myself and hate missing your favorite teams play, the Xbox One lets you do both at the same time. On the smaller screen, you have your TV going, and on the bigger full screen, you could be playing your favorite video game. EA Access, I know Andy wasn't a fan of this. It's not for everybody, I get it, but for me, it's totally worth it. You can download any game that they have in the vault. Currently, they have Madden 25, FIFA 14, Battlefield 4, Titanfall 2, and Need for Speed Rivals. You download the full game of your console, any one of these games for $30 total, or 5 or 10% off EA games. You also download new EA games as a trial for free, and it's playable for 6 hours. The Xbox also offers way more apps than the PS4. So there are positives to the Xbox One and why I've been using it more than my PS4. My lifestyle of a 10-hour workday and come home and watch a show or two on TV with a wife and then play a video game or Titanfall, the transition feels effortless. Where I feel like I'm going to turn on the PS4, I've dedicated a day on the thing just to justify playing video games. Being 31 years old and married, I just don't have the time to sit there and play all day anymore. I used to without sacrificing sleep. PS4 controller is good, really good, but battery life sucks, and the joystick has really worn over time if you're a first-person shooter player. Xbox controller feels a little off for me with the trigger placements. It's battery operated by the plug-and-play kit. The adapter will last you 2 or 3 days, or what does it say here? Yeah. Graphics, if you play a game like 2K14 on PS4, then go to Xbox One, you might notice the difference, but on most of the games, the difference is hard to notice. Sunday Tickets now offer for both. If you like connecting with your friends and playing multiplayer shooters, then go with the PS4. It's easy to connect with friends and get in party chats. Bottom line, love them both. They have some ups and downs. If you're going to be playing endless hours of video games, you can't go wrong with PS4. If you're going to use the Xbox One like it was intended for, you'll love it. Maybe some of these things will help you guys out with your upcoming one-year reviews. I think it's a great email.
It's such a good.
I disagree with a few things, but for the most part, it's just a great commentary on the console war. You know what I mean? And when I say disagree, I don't mean I'm right. I just mean everybody has preferences one way or the other. You know.
I'll just say this, then you guys can answer. I was in the same. We talk. I think me and you were both in the same area with our Xbox Ones.
Mm-hmm.
When we had a couple podcasts when we said PS4 is better value.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's right now it's better. And I'm with Ivan, and that changed. I don't know when it started changing for me, but it changed with me for my Xbox. I don't think I can. Like, when I first got my Xbox, I loved the voice commands.
Mm-hmm.
I loved what it did when I was alone. It doesn't... Mine, I can never seem to get it work when somebody else is in the room and I want to be like, hey, let me show this off. It just doesn't work. But when I call Xbox on, it turns on. I say this all the time. Like, you guys hear me talking about how I love to just walk in my room, turn on my Xbox, watch TV, whatever, online with my Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
But something clicked, and, like, I don't know if it was the updates, because they've had so many good updates in the last 11 months, 10 months
absolutely.
that have changed the system so much. There was a time where I I was using my iPad and my Chromecast for everything. I was not watching TV on my Xbox. I wasn't playing games on my Xbox. Just my Xbox fell out, and I was like, and we questioned it on the podcast. We said, should we have just gotten PS4s? And there was a time when me and you both said, thinking back, we probably should have just canceled our pre-orders and waited on the Xbox One.
Yep.
But you know what? I'm glad I didn't. I love my Xbox One. It's finally come around me. I have a nice library of games. When I go to my pin section, it's full of games. They've nailed it on the. A lot of people give them shit for ripping off PS Now, but that was only a matter of time before they did that. You have to do that.
I mean, Xbox Live is PS Now. So,
yeah, but the way they're giving out free games.
That's a reverse rip-off.
The free games they in the last couple of months, the discounts have been awesome. You get Guacamelee, Chariot. That we did a Twitch.
PSN has actually been pretty weak in the last couple of months.
Yeah, we did a Twitch.
It had a really strong start.
We did an awesome Twitch stream of Chariot. You guys check it out. It's on our website. That game is awesome. If you have an Xbox One and you have a brother or sister or a friend, you guys just want to play a great co-op game, that is it. That game is awesome.
Yeah, it's fun.
And it's free. And I don't know. Something clicked and it just came back around, and I'm so happy that I have my Xbox One with the Kinect.
What do you think, Derek? What's your thoughts?
What I loved about the email was like when he said, "This is the best for me," and you guys might agree. I'm not sure, but for me, especially getting older, finding the best for me right now, PC makes the most sense, right? As far as where my money goes.
I wish I had a PC.
Yeah, you know, it does all I want and more. And there's a lot of people like throwing up, this system is best for media, this system is best for games, and I think what you have to figure out is what's best for you. If he's liking his Xbox more, I think that's great. I think in 2 years' time, it's not going to be about which one's better. They're both going to be totally viable. Just like the Xbox 360 and the PS3. At the end of their life cycles, they were both great systems. They had all the same stuff. You could do all the media things you wanted. They both had great games, exclusives and third party. So it's really.
Don't be afraid to include the Wii U in there, because the Wii U has.
Yeah. Definitely. And for me right now, like if I was gonna get a console, if I was gonna go out tomorrow and buy one, it would be the Wii U because it's just got the most stuff right now. There are still things that are pulling me Xbox One direction and PS4 direction. You know, the HD remake of The Last of Us and stuff. I love that game. I'd buy it 3 more times. But you know, for right now, that's a console that makes sense. But like Andy said in the past, and you guys have said, in the end, I'll probably end up with all 3 because they all have something to offer.
Yeah. Well, I think if you're a gamer like we are, I owned all 3 last generation. I'll end up owning all 3. I own 2 of the 3 right now. Andy bought.
Unfortunately, own all 3.
Andy got all 3 for a while now. Would you have bought a Wii U on your own if you didn't get it as a gift? Because we both got ours.
Eventually, definitely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have bought it for a little while though. I probably would have waited for at least
Smash
Mario Kart, if not Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
My thoughts on this email. First of all, I love the email. I love the idea of it. And again, there's no right answer. It's whatever you like. But one thing that rings true for me is the end where it says if you want to play with your friends online, PS4 makes it easier. And that whole line just proves to me. And I could talk about this email for an entire podcast or 2 because so many things that's like console battles.
I love how this email was sent from his iPhone. It's like a 1,000-word email.
Seriously, that just took me like you know how hard that was to read. The print is so tiny on my screen. I was getting mixed up in the lines.
That was a long poop.
I could never do
that. That was Mexican night and a bottle of gin. What I was gonna say was the fact that he thinks that PS4 is better to play online because it's easier to connect with your friends shows how much both consoles failed. And what I mean by that is there's no doubt, we've talked about this a million times, there's no doubt in my mind that both consoles were slated for this November's release.
Oh yeah.
Both pulled the trigger early because they thought the other one was going to launch early because Xbox was clearly not ready. PS4 was just a simple game player where that was not what PS3 was. People forget that. Like PS4 is all about the games. PS3 was an amazing media player.
Yeah.
They both took
DLNA on PS3 was awesome.
It was amazing, yeah. And the fact that Xbox, like the Kinect commands weren't really ready, which ended up killing the Kinect. But the point is, like, Xbox and PS4 were just horrific with their online capabilities and voice chat at launch, which is ridiculous because PlayStation's always been behind in that, but Xbox Xbox 360 was the best, better than Steam, better than anything as far as voice chat. It was the easiest thing ever. You join a game with your friend, your voice chat's on. It was like the most simple. People take it for granted now. They invented that for consoles, and it existed for PCs before Xbox and Xbox 360, whatever. But they perfected it, and then they had the worst party system when the consoles launched, and it's bizarre to me.
That blew my mind when we were trying to connect in parties, and it just
and it's
work.
still not great, and that's why, like, Juan or Ivan, whatever the hell your name is.
I'm so sorry. I
we
can't
remember.
I'm so sorry.
I was gonna say your name both ways.
If I never brought that up, then you would have just kept on going.
Yeah. But
I fucked it up.
But that's to me. That's I don't know. It's just proof that, like, the fact that the PS4 is not great. It's just easier because I use the PS4 all the time on Destiny. The party chat system's okay, but he's right. It's just simple, and that's what the Xbox 360 was, and they're still trying to catch up, and that just blows me away. So, like, that's the only thing, like, that's like, because I'm crazy. That's the thing that, like, caught in my mind.
Well, I hate to jump in here again with this, but I mean, if you look at Xbox 360 and PS3 at launch, like, they were completely different systems at the end. I don't see why people jump into these camps because without the other, if it was just the Xbox 360 and it had totally destroyed the other one, and Sony had stopped making consoles or something like that, and it won, so to speak, then it would be a shitty console for it. Like, they need each other to get better.
I always like to say this: Xbox 360, when it launched, Netflix was a disc mailing service.
Yeah.
There was no Netflix stream for years, for like 4 years after the 360 started. So, like, then you think what it was at the end, and it was, a media streaming device. And that's why, like, I talked about this a little bit last week, but they were talking about HBO Go launching for the Xbox One, and people were like, oh, great, like, can't play 1080p games, streams things. I was like, I'm a fucking adult.
Yeah.
I use my console to do a lot of things, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Maybe I want to watch HBO Go on my console. I don't always play video games. That just pissed me off. Like, it's like, these commenters are so stupid, That
Netflix thing makes me think of, like, the way Xbox kind of failed this generation so far. My ex-girlfriend, she knew how to operate a 360 because she loved Netflix. She could do anything she wanted to do. If I handed my girlfriend a controller and said, here you go on my Xbox One, no fucking way.
Right.
Would she be able to do it on PS4? I don't know. Is it easier on a PS4? The Xbox One is fucking.
I don't know.
It's so overwhelming.
I like the new Xbox
it's a lot
One
better
voice
now.
commands, but they're still glitchy. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but yeah.
All right. Should I read this? Do we have time for the?
Well, I still want to know what the fucking iPad 3 and.
No, we're not getting to that tonight.
What? Sorry.
Unless we want to. Do you want to save this email for next week?
Save it.
All right. Okay, then we'll do this. All right. So number one, I just want to talk because we talked about this briefly last week, but I didn't get to express my disgust because we were just talking about other things. The iPad Mini 3. You go to The Verge. You go to Engadget. I love The Verge. I love Engadget. I go to them both daily. But they are such Apple fanboys. And again, I like Apple. I'm looking at Adam's iPad. Love iPads. I have a MacBook Pro that I'm recording on. I have an Android phone, but, like, I like Apple stuff. But they released the iPad Mini 3 for $100 more, and the only difference is that it has a friggin' thumb Touch ID sensor. $100 more. And they talk about it in their press conference or whatever, and The Verge gives it like a 9, Engadget gives it like an 8.8.
They gave that?
Yeah.
The Verge had articles about how it was a dumb buy.
Go look at the review, and it says that it's a dumb buy, but everyone was saying, you can't review it, but they're like, you know what? They've never reviewed things for value, basically. But my problem with that argument is you're not doing it for value. That would be like if a $2,000 camera came out and it was 10% better than the $1,000 camera. I agree. Tell us how great it is. That's it. But if there was another camera that was the same fucking thing, but it had a blue LED instead of a red one for the on, then you better give it a 4. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's different than reviewing value added. Like, they should have reviewed it a 5. That way, when people scroll down the article, they see, whoa, that's a 5. Why is that? Because God knows, 90% of people just read the number. You know what I'm saying? So, like, you go down there and you see an 8.8 and people go out and buy it. You're not doing your readers service by doing that. And of course you can hide behind the fact that, well, you should read the whole article, but they have these massive articles. I love it because I usually read every word. But the iPad 3 mini review should have been literally one paragraph. Link to the iPad 2 mini review, add a touch sensor, add $100, do not buy. That's it. Why even bother reviewing the rest of it? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. And, like, I just think that they hide behind the fact that, like, well, if you read the review, you'll see that you shouldn't buy it. You can't give something an 8.8 and say don't buy it. And this gets it more into the whole review scale thing, which I think a 10-point scale for reviews is stupid to begin with. You know, I always said I love Kotaku's buy, don't buy.
Don't buy, don't. I would.
Ars Technica does the same.
My
like
thing
buy,
would be
rent
or buy used, buy, don't buy.
Yeah.
But I just think to give those to give that the fact that people are defending it too just infuriates me. Like, it's just like the EA stuff, and again, it's an entire podcast topic, but they're defending these billion-dollar corporations. We all just want them to get better. I have Android, I have PS4, I have Xbox, I have Wii U, I have Apple stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we don't play favorites, but when something shitty happens, you should jump all over them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
People still defending Battlefield 4. It's like, it drives me crazy because you're like, I understand defending an indie studio because it's different, but when you're defending a mega corporation just because you like their game,
yeah. Well, I don't know if this gives me more credence or not, but I used to be an Apple tech, right? So I saw all the time this sort of. No, I was a certified technician.
One after.
I tore them apart. I got in deep with some iMacs. It was nice. But I mean, what we got, because I worked at a reseller, and what we got so much is Apple banks so much on this cult-like culture. And they're not the only ones. They're not the only ones. And I also love Apples. I have an iPhone sitting next to me. But they bank so much on this culture. We were selling, some of our older machines that we were selling were like iBooks. We were selling for like $300 or $400.
Ones or whatever.
Yeah, like PowerPC, like 500 megahertz shit compared to like an Intel processor at that time. I think we were reselling MacBooks for something like $800 at that point.
Mm-hmm.
And the new PCs didn't cost that much for all the new bells and whistles laptops. Like this whole thing, like I saw my boss at the time sell a Pismo, which came out in '98 for $1,100 because it was an Apple, and it was one of those. It was one of those where the processor was on a card and you slid it in, and it was 550 megahertz. But he got that because he put a 500 gig hard drive in it, and that was a fucking big deal. So the Apple thing is out of control.
Yeah. I for $2,200 because I wanted a black one and I wanted more RAM, and I ended up spending more than what a MacBook Pro would have been just because I wanted a black one.
Yeah.
That's not very smart.
No, it's not very smart. But that's the way Apple people are. That's the way so we're just as bad.
I mean, I'm not saying they're not good machines. They're good machines. They're well designed. They're absolutely beautiful.
You know what pisses me off though is when people say like, "Well, I want something to last." Well, I had
the shit.
Original iPhone. I had an iPhone 3G. I had an iPhone 4, whatever.
You broke
and they all broke.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, but they all broke. I didn't drop them that much. I never did anything. They just broke. Like the power button. I had 3 phones. 2 of them, the power button broke. 2 of them, the home button broke. So I had 1 phone where both of them broke. And I just hate this idea that like Apple hardware is beautiful and it's nice and everything, but it is not default free. The battery on this one almost exploded on my MacBook Pro that I'm using right now. I had to replace the third-party one. Like, it just annoys me because the most ignorant people that you know have no idea about technology at all. When there's like a new iPhone launch, they'll be all over Facebook like, "Got my iPhone in line." It's like,
well, I have people.
Are you lemmings? You know,
I've met people who got their $300 Walmart Acers, right? And they're like, my new MacBook is so much better than my old Acer. Oh my god! I'm like, of course, you bought that computer 5 years ago and it was shit then.
That's when people bash Android phones when they bought the free one with the 2-year contract, which that would be like buying an iPhone 3G right now. Dude, you like the phone? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're buying the shittiest Android phone. That's why I'm glad that they've kind of removed that. They allow people to make the budget phones, but not as much. Like, even the budget phones are decent. Back in the day, the Android phones were ridiculous, but like they weren't buying the flagship phones. That was one of the things that destroyed them. Apple's smart because they do the. And I'm not trying to bash Apple. I don't want people to think that. Again, I own a whole bunch of Apple stuff. I might get an iPhone next.
You can see the fucking desk that we're on.
Right.
It's
just that they are the most pretentious company I've ever seen, ever, bar none, not even close. I talked about this last time on the podcast when they said their iPad Air customer quality survey was 100%. I was like, no, it fucking wasn't.
No.
That's ridiculous. 100%. not 97, 100%. You know, their customer satisfaction rating. Did you get a line of people waiting in line for the iPhone for the last month? Is that your survey?
Do we have time to do a ridiculous comment? Are we?
We gotta talk really quick about Insider Derp or whatever it's called.
Because I have one of the best.
All right, real quick. I read an article that was talking about. You know, if you listen to the podcast, you know I despise GameSpot. It's the worst website ever.
I thought you were a fan.
It's the worst website ever. And this has nothing to do with that though. But there was it's just like them. Clickbait articles about what are the two clickbait articles? One is resolution.
Yep.
Right. The second is sales.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was an article, a big article on a major website. I don't remember what it was right now, but I want you guys right now, go to your browser and go to do you have the show notes open? Go to insidederp.com. So insiderp.com.
Fappening.jesus.
Someone quoted this in a major news website article. This website for console sales.
What the fuck? Quoted this website?
They quoted this website.
Looks like a pop-up
not once,
website.
not once, but multiple times. This is one of the greatest websites I've ever seen. I'm a better web. I am not a website. I mean, I made 8bit Bourbon.com.
You made 8bit Bourbon.com.
But I'm saying before that, I had never made a website ever. This
use,
looks like something from 1987. It's amazing.
Pictures of this.
If you guys are listening to this, go to insiderp.com. It's supposed to be insider, but insiderp.com.
Should I share the page?
And if you've noticed, do you think this guy owns a PS4? Read all the art. Read all the headlines.
I'm clicking the next gen sales race. Well, the first image is broken.
Well, let me read you the headlines. Drive Club hits 1 million, outsells Forza Horizon 2 2-1. PS4 reaches 11 million worldwide, courtesy of Destiny Blitz. Hold on. Euro sales for June 14. PS4 outsells Xbox 6-1 in Europe. These are all, by the way. I'm not saying that PS4 hasn't outsold Xbox. I think it has, but these are all before it comes out because it's a rumor website. It's like Incarcerated Bob on Twitter, who people follow for sports because they're idiots.
Well,
the last time there's another great one here.
Last time you updated
Did you see
the sales thing was January of 2014.
Oh yeah, it's bullshit. But this was like this has been majorly quoted as a source. That's what's amazing about this.
I'm looking at one that says Q3 earning. Microsoft's Q3 quarter 3 earnings report validates Insider Derp numbers. That's the name of one of the articles.
I like the best one. Sony and Micron, which I don't know what Micron is. Joint venture for PS5. Already. What would happen if two tech giants come together for improving economies of a scale?
Titanfall sells 700,000 copies, but PS4 still outsells Xbox One in hardware sales. But then where's the other one? Titanfall flops on Xbox 360 and fades away on Xbox One. The dangers of supporting dead horses.
What the fuck? Star a Titanfall game in the works.
Oh.
What the fuck's that?
Okay, first line of Titanfall sells 700,000 copies, but PS4 still outsells Xbox One. The Messiah came and caused a stir among existing Xbox One owners, but wasn't enough to fend off the PS4 juggernaut.
GameSpot quoted.
It wasn't GameSpot. It was another website. I can't remember who it was right now, but it's been quoted by like a couple like major news outlets.
We should contact them and fucking have people, the web hosts on the fucking.
Their pictures of the consoles are like stretched horizontally with major like jagged edges.
I think I could draw a better fucking.
I opened this up because they quoted this, and I was like, that sounds ridiculous, that headline. So I went to the website, and I was like,
Who the fuck does that?
I know. It's amazing. So those are my 2 mini topics for the week.
How much time do we have?
0. I mean, we're like an hour 20.
All right, I'm going to do this quick. I'll save it.
All right. Well, we got more stuff to read next week. So.
This is probably one of the best commenter.
Do you want to save it for next week?
It's a fucking gem. Yeah, we'll save it.
All right.
It's a fucking gem.
All right, yeah, that'll give us time to properly say goodbye.
Derek, I think we had you on for a perfect episode. You were fucking great, man.
Thanks, guys. I'm really glad to have been on. It's been awesome.
Stuff.
Let people know where they can find
please.
Stuff.
Well, you guys can find us on our website at evilcouncil.net. You can also find us on Twitter at eCouncilPodcast. Our email is evilcouncilpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook. Check us out. Like us.
Yeah, we're gonna our show notes, and we retweet them all the time on Twitter.
Yeah, we have a great relationship on Twitter and stuff. We're always
very hot and heavy relationship.
Yeah.
Favoriting.
Yep. You can find us 8bit Bourbon anywhere. 8bitbourbon at gmail.com. 8bit Bourbon Instagram if you want to find our 2 pictures that we posted. 8bit Bourbon on Twitter. Reddit/r/8bit Bourbon. 8bitbourbon.com, which we had an amazing post from a female gamer a long time ago. We were asking for that, and Adam found it recently, and we never saw it. It was from June. We saw it like 3 weeks ago, so we messaged her. And
the reason why
so we're gonna read it next week.
We had a spam problem.
Right, that was the reason.
We had more comments than we had views on our website for a while.
Right, we were getting
It's since been fixed, but we just didn't know.
I forwarded all the emails to my spam folder because it was just getting ridiculous.
Yeah, but we've got it in check now, so the website's good. And we're sorry, Laurel.
That being said, yeah, we'll get that on the show next week. But check out Chad27 Johnson on Twitter. That's our producer. His music's on the bottom right of our website.
And also let us know if you liked this style of us doing the podcast.
Yeah, we're gonna release video and audio. And Derek's gonna.
We're probably gonna pull down the video. We're probably gonna pull down the video tonight, so it'll be up Wednesday when this podcast comes out.
Right,
so if you listen to podcasts right now, you can catch the live show. Go to YouTube, search 8bit Bourbon, and you'll see the live show.
Yep. If you guys prefer video, we'll be on there. We're gonna try to do that from now on. So, Derek, DK, I guess I should call you. Thanks for coming on, man.
And congratulations to Eric of the Evil Council.
Oh yeah, just got married.
Taking the plunge.
God bless him. I mean, that stupid idiot. We have so many married. Well, actually, all our married listeners are definitely thinking the same thing. Today we were talking about who's gonna get married in our friend group one time, and it's like there's a bunch of people that have long relationships, and yeah, it was. So, but I don't know who I was with. I think it was Jay, Nick, and somebody else, and I said, I don't know who it is, but I will be taking different dates to all your weddings. True story. So anyway, thanks for listening, guys. I hope you guys like the live show. We're gonna try to post the video on YouTube. Not try. We're going to. And we're gonna try to keep this as a thing going. So, thanks for joining us, Derek. DK.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you, Tyler.
And the other people that we don't know.
Rolling, yeah. Well, next time we'll maybe try to turn on comments. But anyway, I'm Andy.
I'm Adam.
I'm DK.
And we're 8bit Bourbon Evil Console Podcast.
Bob Barker, motherfucker.
Peace.